Hey, good morning, guys.
They're here.
They're here already. So, Monday morning, yeah, I know we're running a little bit late, daylight savings time and all. So we're going to blame it on that. Hey, the clock up here on the wall says 10 minutes till 8, so.
I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, I think we're early. So, anyway, had a few things to get finished up at home this morning. So we had a mechanic out here and he ended up doing the oil change. What we found out on that drain plug on that 225 is that it's a drain, it's an oil drain cap, not a plug. So you end up having to use a crow's foot to get in behind. Okay, so you end up having to get up in there with a crow's foot and hold the back side of that thing and then get, I believe it's a 15/16 to get on that cap. And, oh, Kimberly's coming with the light. So yeah, the crow's foot goes in and gets on the back side of that. 15/16 gets on the cap, takes that off. So I'm gonna go show you the book, which I referred to, and see what your guys' opinion is on this. But I'm not real impressed with this design. I'm gonna put that right out there right now. So anyway, so I'm not sure if that's how the tractors, the new ones coming off the line today are, but let's go show you what the book says, because I referred to the book. And
Because you're just a YouTube mechanic.
I'm just, yep, correct. I'm just a YouTube mechanic, so it should not surprise y'all that I don't know what I'm doing. But in the book, it says, here we go again, place a suitable container under the engine drain plug on the oil pan and remove the plug. Number one, it's not a plug, it's a cap. I don't know if that would have alerted me that something's different, that I would have had to hold the piece behind. Once all the oil has been collected, reinstall the drain plug. Okay, so that is 100% not correct. I put a note in here that says use a 7/8 inch crow's foot to hold tube while taking off drain cap. Because that tube down there now has been twisted a little bit. It's not enough to cause any damage or any concern, but if that continues to get twisted, it's eventually going to twist off, and then you have to pull the motor to replace it.
Yikes.
So, very poor design. Case IH engineers, if you're watching, that's got to be one of the most foolish things I've ever seen in my life, but whatever. Once again, if engineers had to work on the stuff they designed, they might do things a little bit differently. But anyway, enough ranting on that. So needless to say, I'm not real happy about that situation, but the oil has been changed. I now know how it's supposed to happen. And update on this. So the end of the cylinder had come out of the block, which is right here. And luckily it's the threads in there that are messed up and not on the end of the cylinder, otherwise we'd have to replace that whole cylinder. So got a new one of those ordered, and that should be here in a couple days, and then that'll get fixed. So you can't be behind the camera.
I want to be.
Okay, Kimberly's up there vacuuming out the cab right now. I won't walk over there, it's too noisy with the vacuum. I lowered down the marker arms. They were straight up once I took the duals off. I lowered them down, put them back where they're supposed to be. both sides. So anyway, that's done. And I think I'm gonna go check the other shed and see how much stuff I need to move to get to that planter. So I've got a call into the service department to see if it's okay if that tractor's on the planter. I'm not sure when the technician's coming out to replace that seal on the front end that's leaking on the left side. So I just want to make sure that, because that planter's a lot of work to get it hooked up. I would hate to hook it all up and get it in here and then the service guy gets here and says, oh, by the way, we got to unhook that planter. So I'm just trying to get a verification from them first before I do that, but I could probably at least walk over to the other shed and see how much stuff we got in the way or what we need to move to get to it. And once I'm outside the shed, I'll probably try and call them again, because a lot of times they can't get a hold of me when I'm in the shed. So let's go check it out. Okay, so it looks like we've only got 2 tractors in the way to get to that planter. Yeah, this isn't just a 5-minute job to hook this thing up. There's just all kinds of stuff that needs to happen to get this hooked up. So I'll be honest with you, the first time I hooked this thing up, I went to YouTube, because I walked in here the first time and looked at this and thought, wow, that's crazy. I did put these sleeves on the hoses that actually tell me which connection it goes to. These are a little bit different. That's another thing. I haven't even touched that tractor yet, so, or the 8920 Case International over there. So yeah, we've got a pretty decent mix of tractors here. So
These 2 tractors ran augers, correct?
yes, both of these, well, the 1066 did too.
Okay.
So I think this one was on the auger over at the other farm. That one always runs the main corn dump auger. And then I think the 1066 ran the auger going into the other wet holding bin once we got that set up. So yeah, so anyway.
So that's where they got their hours from.
She's trying to sell that truck, so there's a guy that may be interested in it. So it's a manual transmission, but it's a tonner. It's an old fire truck. That's what the crazy color scheme is on it, but it's how Austin learned to drive a manual transmission. So that's something that kids nowadays never get a chance to do, usually, is learn how to drive a manual transmission. So anyway, enough rambling. I'm gonna call the implement and see if it's okay for us to hook that planter up, because I don't want to do it and then have to unhook it again right away. So that's it for right now. Okay.
So what you doing?
Well, just in case we need to get that four-wheel drive tractor started, I will probably plug it in. I shouldn't have to. The issue is the outlets in this shed only go like the first 30 feet.
Oh.
So, and it's clear in the back corner. I'm pretty sure there's not, we got a long cord going to the combine. That semi-trailer needs washed. The truck has been washed, but the semi-trailer didn't get washed. That looks terrible. You can see how nasty that thing is. And when we were hauling corn, it was really muddy. It was soft and muddy. Boy, that tractor needs washed.
Oh, goodness. There's another forklift job.
Yeah, I don't see any outlets back here. about a plug-in.
Now they can see how massive it is because you're standing right next to it.
Yeah, I don't remember what year this is. Maybe a 2012 something. I don't know. But yeah, it's a big tractor. So I do like the wheels. There's the plug-in. I do like the wheels, and you can see it's been like corn stalks, just how it eats away at the tires. It just starts tearing them up. So yeah. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that thing needs oil change. Now this didn't get used that much last year. Well, hardly at all. So this has, I'll have to check the hours since the last oil change, but this tractor blew a head gasket. Right before spring last year, it blew a head gasket. So it ended up being in the shop, and we ended up, so we had nothing to pull the big soil conditioner. So we ended up having to put the duals on the little 8920, and for whatever reason, I don't remember, Ryan had a little 24-foot field cultivator. Pretty much new, sitting in a shed over at the other farm. So that 8920 got hooked onto that little field cultivator, and we went back old school, and no auto steer, nothing, and we had our hired man basically working all the bean stubble before it was planted to corn with that little tractor. So needless to say, he had a little trouble keeping up, trying to stay ahead of a 24-row planter that can go 10 mile an hour. So we had to, anyway, it all worked out. We had a fix to the problem, but this thing didn't get many hours on it last year. We did some turbo tilling with it last fall, just on the acres that are going to corn. So I don't like to do corn on corn. I've never really had a whole lot of luck with it, but so that was like 25 or 30 acres. So I'm gonna check the hours, but that thing didn't get many hours last year. We're hoping that gets a lot more hours on it this year, but
maybe you got 15 minutes pulling that tractor and wagons.
yeah, pulling the tractor up the hill when it got stuck. So I did get that. I'm gonna check the hours on it, and then we'll check it against the card in the office. 2767.7, so 2768. Let's go look. That's a cameras. You can hook cameras to different things or whatever. So 2768. Let's go look. Okay, 9430 changed 3 of 22, 2676. What'd I say? 2778? No, 68. 68. It's 2767.7, I think. 2768. So it's basically got 92 hours on it. So, yeah, I know it seems like, wow, that's been 2 years ago since it was changed. But like I said, that tractor basically didn't get used last year. So, and it was at the dealership pretty much all summer. I don't know when we got it back last year. I think maybe right before fall. So anyway, that one will need to come in and get that changed as well. So more to do. You know, farmers just goof off all winter. Nothing to do. Just kidding, I'm being sarcastic. For a comparison, here's the 8920 that we were talking about that had to do all the field cultivating last year. So this, I can't remember what year it is, but it's been, you can't tell because it's just filthy. It's been repainted and everything, and so we'll have to get that in and get that cleaned up as well. But that, the other set of duals against the wall over there are for this tractor. And they hadn't been on in years, but they got put on last year, and that old girl got put to work. So it's saved us, well, it saved from having to rent a big tractor which I can't remember what they quoted us on that. It was going to be super expensive per hour to rent that tractor. But anyway, that old girl saved us a lot of money last year, but she had a hard time keeping up, but she did the job. Another project I'm going to do, I took the battery cover off, and that's pretty nasty inside there. The bracket's loose, so I'm going to try and get that washed out. I'm not sure what that electrical thing is up there, but I'll try and keep the water away from that. But that battery compartment needs washed out for sure. I would like to say this one has a lot more drain holes in it than the John Deere did, so that's nice. I do like that. I'm really trying to avoid doing this, but I really think that shroud needs taken off and that cleaned out like we did on the John Deere. This one might be just a tad bit easier than the John Deere too to take the shroud off. Well, at least it didn't break. That's good. I'll put some penetrating oil on these before we put it back together. I do know that the cab filter's not done on this yet, so that'll have to be done. I'll wait till Kimberly's done cleaning the cab, so I don't get in her way. Okay, that should allow this to pull off there, I think. Yeah, I think there's some stuff in there.
You guys take that off too?
Well, I decided I probably should, and it looks like it was a good idea.
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Do you got your dishwashing gloves on for cleaning the tractor cab?
Yes. What is this?
I believe that's like a heat material, but it looks like the glue came loose and it's just kind of settling down. So I'll get a bucket and try and catch most of that. I don't want that all over the floor. But I could see back in here corn stalks that were kind of going around the corner.
Oh yeah.
So I knew that I needed to get this pulled off there so I could get them all dug out.
Wow. How
do the corn stalks get in there? I have no idea, but they do, and they need to be cleaned out so you don't start a fire. Sure how you get the corn stalks out of here without removing the battery. Unfortunately, I think the only way of getting that battery compartment totally clean is to pull the battery. And I'm not looking forward to that. I got my helper here. Got it? All right, let's go back right on the board. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty dirty in behind there, so this will be good to get this done.
You need your kitchen gloves now.
Yeah, mine are pink though. I don't know. I didn't want to wear my pink ones in front of everybody. All right, quit thinking about my pink dish gloves. Here's what's going on in here. this is what I wanted to get out of there. So there was no way I was getting that cleaned out with that battery in there. So battery has been removed.
What did you say?
I'm talking to the camera.
Oh,
Kimberly's over there. What'd you say? Okay. Okay.
still gross.
Still gross. Does it need a little? Grab the hose and just spritz it real quick. And she said I have somebody tagging along in my arm hairs here. Got it?
I think so.
All right. Put this bad boy in. Do we know it's a boy? How do you tell if a battery is a boy or a girl?
It says Magna.
Oh, so that's got to be a boy.
I think so. That's a testosterone thing.
Testosterone. Okay. Oh, hang on. Okay, it slid right in. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now I'm all soaked.
Oh no. Sure you didn't wet your pants? Yeah, you got power again. I see your cab lights on. I will have to get a new battery hold down in here. Either find a new one or make one that works, one or the other. That's not going to happen today. It does have a huge lip to hold it in place, and there's a steel lip in the back that it pushes. So it can go that far, and it can go that far. That's it. So it's not going anywhere. And this, we don't need it for at least a month before we start planting. So anyway, we'll get that fixed later on. Kimberly's up there slaving away, wiping everything down in the cab. I'm going to get this put back on. Hopefully I'm going to get this put back on. We'll see. So here's what we've switched to out here, the Seafoam Deep Creep. This stuff seems to work very well. So, not sponsored, but hey, we could be. So anyway, I'm just gonna put a little bit. This stuff gets rusty and dirty, and yeah, we've had really good luck with it. I like it. I'm a fan. All right, this one is way easier to take on and off than the John Deere was, that's for sure. Okay, this cylinder is bad, so I just got to figure out how to get these little pins out. Watch them go flying and I'll lose them. The new one doesn't come with new pins, of course. Try this one down here that I can see a little bit better. Flip it up and over.
There you go. Okay.
And that pivots inside there. Okay.
Okay.
Kind of simple once you know how to do it.
Sure.
Okay. There's two pins, so this should just fall off there, right?
Oh, right.
I guess it did. Okay.
Looks like there's a little bit of grease on there.
Yeah, and then there's the pin, so that goes in like that.
Oh.
And keeps it from coming off there. Okay. Okay, let's do the easy one first, hopefully.
Boy, that's gonna be so nice. The door wouldn't stay open.
Yeah, I got tired of that door.
Banging on you.
There it is. Now.
Nice.
Yeah, that door's not gonna come flying shut and hit us anymore, so. Bad cylinder. Is the job done? Father, we thank you for this day you blessed us with, and in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. This floor cleaned up so we can get that planter brought in here.
She's for sale. This is no joke here.
I didn't hear anybody joking.
Serious business.
Oh, I think this is the side to side for the. Okay. B, maybe. I should have brought my glasses.
I have mine.
I am not wearing yours. Not happening. I think that must be it. Wow.
Are we using all available ports?
I think there's one left. I think there's one down here.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
All right, so we got. Sorry, hon, I need my coat washed again. All right, so you saw the planter come into the shop. I've done 3 of the rows already. These are the seed cartridges. And what we're going to do is, there we go. I had it the wrong way. There's little clips that hold this little door on. I said door on, not moron. Okay. So this is I'm going to call it the seed belt, the bristle belt, the whatever, that basically the seed gets put into the belt up here and it rolls, and it doesn't roll. This will turn and it will keep the seed spacing accurate, and it will match the speed of your tractor, and the seed will come out right here. And this brush will be matching the speed of your tractor. So basically, instead of like old school, it would drop a seed up here and it would tumble all the way down here and then hit the furrow, and then it could tumble some more. This basically will lay it right in the furrow, and it won't tumble. It'll be laid down at the same speed that the tractor's going, so it won't tumble. So you get a lot more, you get exact spacing and a lot better population and all that kind of stuff. You know, you don't want 2 seeds that far apart and then your next gap is that far apart. So this eliminates all that. It's got a little sensor, a seed sensor here that you can pull off and make sure that the glass and everything is good.
Oh, that's high tech.
That will count the seeds that it's going by, and it'll give you your population. This planter, as with many of the newer style planters, you can, right from the screen in the tractor, you can, on the go, you can just dial in like a different population or down pressure on the rows or whatever. So where like our older Kinsey, we have to get out and we have to change gears on the splines and with the chain and everything to get a different population. It'll make the seed units go faster or slower. So anyway, kind of cheated. I already took this one out and blew it all out with the air compressor. You guys didn't want to see me do that anyway.
And different populations are per the seed variety, correct?
Seed variety, soil type, number of factors. And then this would have been in the released position, so that belt is loose in there. Now we want to put it back in the tight position so that everything's tight and it's ready to go. So drop this in there. This has to be plugged in for your seed sensor. Now that y'all are watching, I probably won't be able to get this on the first try. There we go. Get that plugged in. Bring this down. Okay, so that's loose. So that needs to be tightened up a little bit.
And how many rows are you doing this to?
24. Okay, so the seed cartridge is back in. Something I noticed on this one is that the disc, when you put this on here and tighten it down, it spins too easily. It shouldn't spin that easy. So there's an adjustment inside. Basically this little pin, I'm going to pull it out. And basically I'm going to tighten this. You can see there's a little hole there where the key went in. Mm-hmm. I'm going to maybe go 2 more slots, and we'll see how that looks. See if that gives us enough tension. But yeah, you don't want that seed disc too tight, but you also don't want it freewheeling either. Now you can feel or hear that there's some tension on there. So that's a lot better. So that row is ready to go. And we'll pop that right in there. That little spline matches up with right there. That's what drives it. And those are electric motors. That's what I was saying in the cab, you can adjust on the screen your population. Well, that's how fast that motor turns. That's why that was loose, because I was tightening it down before I had this in there. Rookie mistake.
By the time you're half done, you'll like be able to do it in your sleep.
By the time I get done, I'll have it figured out. All right. We got 4 rows done.
Oh, that's gonna be fun to try to clean. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, I'd say that's a win.
Hey guys, so we're back at the farm today. We got a lot of this planter done yesterday. Got all the cartridges checked, the seed cartridges, the seed discs put in. I took it out in the field and ran it to see if everything was working correctly, and it was not. So I'm not getting a vacuum reading on this side of the planter, and I believe this is the hose where it's getting the reading from. I did blow the hoses out and they were full of dirt, and I thought maybe that was the issue. I hoped that was the issue, but that did not fix the issue. So I'm going to guess that if this hose and the exit hose were full of dirt, I'm going to guess that our little sensor probably has dirt in it, compacted in it, and needs to be replaced. So I'm going to work on taking that off, and I'm going to go to the dealership and get a new one. I want to get a new engine air filter for this planter anyway, and Amy wants me to check on her bale wrap. All right, there it is. Doesn't take much to get it off there, but yeah, I assume that's probably bad. Looks like about a $2 piece. We'll see just how bad it is. But anyway, leave the screws here and head to the dealership and get a new one, and hopefully get that fixed up today. All right, so we're on the way to the dealership to get some parts, and hopefully they got what we need to get this planter fixed up and rolling again. So today we are going to look over, forget that.